What is up, HFC superfans, and welcome to the only preview you need for a night of absolute madness and championship gold. We've got two massive title fights on the line, but man, the story tonight has taken a wild, last-minute turn that just changes everything. All right, first things first, the bombshell. Fight week kicked off with a bang, but definitely not the kind we were hoping for. The scheduled main event challenger, Gavin Wimberly, is officially out of the fight. And just like that, the entire card was just thrown into chaos.
But hey, this is the HFC, right? The show must go on. Stepping up on just a few days' notice, a brand new debuting fighter has grabbed the opportunity of a lifetime to challenge for the lightweight boxing championship. We are absolutely going to break that down in a minute, but before we get to all that main event chaos, let's talk about the history being made in our co-main.
That's right, you heard me. History. Before our main event, the HFC is going to crown its first ever lightweight MMA champion. Seriously, the stakes could not be any higher. One of these guys is going to etch their name in the history books forever. Okay, so this slide right here, it tells you everything you need to know about the story of this fight. You are looking at a massive, massive gap in experience. On one side, you've got the legend, Mark the Kicker Harrison, who literally has more finishes, 14 of them, than his opponent has professional fights. And then on the other side, you got Jimmy Lin, a total unknown, making his professional debut on the biggest stage possible. Talk about a gamble. And this is that classic narrative, isn't it? It's the ultimate clash of styles and careers. Mark Harrison is HFC royalty. We're talking 14 pay-per-view main events, titles in different disciplines, the whole shebang. He's trying to add another belt to a career that's already Hall of Fame worthy. And then there's Jimmy Lin, a dangerous BJJ specialist with absolutely nothing to lose. For him, this isn't just a fight. It's a shot to become a star overnight. So how does Harrison get it done? Well, his game plan is all about control. He has to use that famous taekwondo striking to keep a bubble of distance around him where Lin just can't get in. Takedown defense is priority number 1, 2, and 3. If this fight hits the mat, he's in deep trouble. If you can manage the pace like the champ he is and start digging to the body, he can break this newcomer down. Now for Jimmy Lin, the path to victory is way narrower, but it is crystal clear. He has to turn this into a grappling match, period. From the second that bell rings, his only goal should be to close that distance, get a takedown, and start hunting for a submission. Every single second this fight stays on the feet is a second that he's losing. And yeah, no surprise here, the odds makers see this as a pretty one-sided fight. At -600, Mark Harrison is a huge favorite. And you know, it makes sense. You're pitting a decorated champion, a future Hall of Famer, against a guy making his very first walk to the HFC ring. So my official prediction, it's got to reflect those odds. I just don't see how the debuting Lin can survive the storm. Harrison's elite striking, his experience, his fight IQ, it's all just going to be way too much to handle. I'm picking Mark Harrison to become the inaugural champion by TKO in the second round. All right, now for the main event where fight week has just been pure chaos. With Gavin Wimberly out, our champion Elijah Crooked now faces a completely different and, maybe even a more dangerous challenge, the total unknown. And the tale of the tape here is just fascinating. Yeah, Elijah Crockett is only one, and but that one win? It was in a championship fight against the legend Mark Harrison to win the belt. So he's already proven he can perform under the brightest lights. His opponent, Cade Scott, is a true mystery man stepping into a title fight for his professional debut. How crazy is that? This whole setup creates his incredible dynamic. For Crockett, the pressure is immense. He's got to prove his championship win wasn't a fluke. But for Cade Scott, this is the definition of playing with house money. Nobody expects him to win, which means he can just come out aggressive, wild, and totally unpredictable. And you know what? That makes him incredibly dangerous. For the champion, Crockett, the key is simple. Don't play the underdog's game. He needs to avoid the chaos and stick to the clean, crisp boxing that won him the title in the first place. It's all about establishing that jab to control the pace and the distance. The biggest danger here is underestimating the guy across from him. He can't look past someone who has nothing to lose. A clean finish is really the only way to send a message to the rest of the division. Now for Cade Scott, the strategy is one thing and one thing only. Go for broke. He has to create absolute disorder. This cannot be a technical boxing match. It needs to be a dogfight from the opening bell. He's got to use that wild underdog energy to try and overwhelm the champion before he can ever get settled and find his rhythm. And if you thought the co-main odds were wide, just look at this.
At -800, Elijah Crockett is an overwhelming favorite. The betting world is giving Cade Scott basically no chance, seeing this as a champ just defending his belt against a last-minute fill-in. An upset here would be absolutely historic.
And I've got to agree with the odds here. I mean, while the underdog story is tempting, Crockett is a champion for a reason. He's the more skilled, more proven boxer. I expect him to handle this short notice change like a pro and make a huge statement. I'm taking Elijah Crockett by knockout in the very first round. So as the dust settles from a wild fight week, we're left with two incredible championship fights. One is going to crown a brand new inaugural champion, and the other could see a champion solidify his reign or a legend born from a last-minute phone call. So to recap my official predictions for the night. In the co-main event, I'm picking the veteran Mark Harrison to capture that inaugural lightweight MMA title. And in your main event, I've got champion Elijah Crockett defending his lightweight boxing belt in dominant fashion. But that leaves us with the ultimate question for tonight, right? We are guaranteed to see at least one new champion crowned when that inaugural belt gets wrapped around someone's waist. The real question is, will Cade Scott make it two new champs by pulling off one of the biggest upsets in HSC history? That, my friends, is what makes this the greatest sport in the world. Enjoy the fights.